You're 23 years old. You just got cut from your dream job. You move back in with your parents. You check your bank account, and there's $7 in it. $7 for most people, that's rock bottom. For Dwayne Johnson, that was the launching pad. Today, he's one of the highest paid actors in the world, a business mogul, and a cultural icon. But the story of how he got there, that's not about luck. It's not about being in the right place at the right time. It's about what you do when everything falls apart. This is the story of The Rock, and if you're struggling right now, if you feel like you're at your lowest point, this might be exactly what you need to hear, the $7 moment. November 1995, Dwayne Johnson had just been cut from the Canadian Football League. His dream of playing professional football was over. He had no backup plan, no safety net, and practically no money. When he talks about having $7, he's not exaggerating for effect. That was literally all he had. But here is what separates people who rise from people who stay down. Dwayne didn't waste time asking why me. He asked what now. His father, Rocky Johnson, was a professional wrestler. Dwayne had grown up around the ring, but he'd never wanted that life. He wanted to be a football player. But when that door slammed shut, he didn't stand there banging on it. He turned around and looked for another door. The reinvention within a year, Dwayne was training to become a wrestler. And here's where most people get it wrong about his story. They think he became The Rock and everything just fell into place. The truth, he failed at first. His original wrestling persona was Rocky Maivia, a combination of his father and grandfather's names. The crowds hated it. They literally chanted "Die Rocky Die" and "Rocky sucks." Imagine that. You've already failed at your first dream, you're trying something new, and thousands of people are telling you that you suck at this too. Most people would quit. Dwayne transformed. He didn't abandon wrestling, he abandoned being someone he wasn't. He created The Rock confident, charismatic, unapologetically bold. He turned the audience's hatred into fuel. Within months, he became one of the most electrifying performers in sports entertainment history. That's the first lesson. When something isn't working, don't quit, evolve, the discipline. But success in wrestling was just the beginning. The Rock became a household name, but Dwayne had bigger ambitions. He wanted to be an actor, and once again, the world told him no. Hollywood executives didn't see him as an actor. They saw him as a wrestler. Big difference. They offered him small roles, stereotypical parts that played to his size but not his range. Most people would take what they could get. Dwayne bet on himself. He took acting classes. He studied his craft. He accepted smaller roles but treated them like starring roles. He showed up earlier, stayed later, and outworked everyone on set. When he finally got his breakthrough in films like The Scorpion King and Fast 5, it wasn't luck. It was years of preparation meeting opportunity. And here's what The Rock understood that most people don't. Discipline isn't about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline is about doing the work even when you don't feel like it. He wakes up at 4 a.m. to train, not sometimes, every day. He calls it his anchor. While everyone else is sleeping, he's getting better, the hardest work in the room. There's a phrase Dwayne lives by: be the hardest worker in the room, not the most talented. Not the most connected, the hardest worker. When he was building his production company, $7 Productions, yes, named after that $7 moment, he didn't just want to act. He wanted to control his own destiny. He wanted to create opportunities, not wait for them. Today, $7 produces everything from blockbuster films to television shows, and Dwayne has creative control over projects that have grossed billions worldwide. But it's not just about the work, it's about the mindset. The Rock has talked openly about his struggles with depression, about the pain of his parents' divorce when he was young, about watching his mother attempt suicide when he was 15. He could have let those experiences define him as a victim. Instead, he used them to build empathy, resilience, and an unbreakable drive to succeed. The gratitude here's something you don't hear in most motivational stories. The Rock practices radical gratitude. He talks about it constantly. Every setback, every failure, every moment when he had nothing, he's grateful for all of it. Because those moments taught him what success never could. When you have nothing, you learn what you're made of. When everything's going right, you never discover your real strength. The Rock's superpower isn't his muscles or his charisma. It's his ability to find the lesson in every loss, to see setbacks as setups for comebacks. He didn't just survive his $7 moment. He immortalized it. He built an empire with it as the foundation. That's not just success, that's alchemy, turning your worst moment into your origin story. So where does that leave you? Maybe you're not a former football player or a wrestler. Maybe you don't have the Rock's genetics or opportunities. But here's what you do have: this moment right now, this choice. The Rock story isn't about being special. It's about what you do when you're not special, when nobody believes in you, when you have every reason to quit. It is about the decision you make when your back is against the wall and your bank account has $7. You can stay down, or you can get to work. You can wait for motivation, or you can build discipline. You can let your circumstances define you, or you can redefine yourself completely. Dwayne Johnson wasn't born the Rock. He built the Rock, brick by brick, rep by rep, failure by failure, until that version of himself became real. And the most powerful part, he's still building, he's still evolving. He's still showing up at 4 a.m. Your rock bottom moment isn't the end of your story, it's the first chapter. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Remember, be the hardest worker in the room, show gratitude for the struggle, and never ever stop evolving. Now get to work.